name is Maria Angélica Herrera Guerrero. I'm from Colombia.
My name is Raylan and I'm from Brazil.
Hi, I'm Thais. I'm from Brazil.
Our critical thinking tree is focused on brain difference between genders. Do you ever wonder why men and women think so differently? It's not new that the men and women aren't half the same. There are differences among genders. In contrast, they can improve their appreciation to others in many different aspects. Investigation revealed that there are incompatibilities between masculine and feminine brains. Tice and Ryland, who are neuroscientists, generally study four primary areas of difference in male and female brains: processing, chemistry, structure, and activity. They emphasize the difference among masculine and feminine brains in this area around the world. But the experts, Tice and Ryland, also have discovered several exceptions which called gender rule. According to scientists, you may know some men who are very sensitive, immensely talkative about feelings. Unused generally don't seem to fit the boy way of doing things. As a result, all gender difference, no one way of doing things is better or worse. The difference listed below are simply generalized difference in typical brain functioning, and it's important to remember that all the differences have advantage and disadvantage.
Male brains utilize nearly 7 times more gray matter for activity.
Female brains utilize nearly 10 times more than white matter.
What does this mean?
Gray matter areas of the brain are localized. Gray matter, also known as the part of the brain that is controlled by the nerve cell bodies and the majority of the true dendrites, numerous short branching filaments that carry impulse towards the cell body. The sense of the body, speech, hearing, feelings, seeing, and memory, and control of the muscles are part of the gray matter's function. This can translate to a kind of tunnel vision when they are doing something. Once they are deeply engaged in a task or game, and they may not demonstrate much sensitivity to other people or their surroundings.
It is the white matter that allows communication to and from gray matter areas, and between gray matter and the other parts of the body. It functions by transmitting the information from the different parts of the body towards the cerebral cortex. It also controls the functions that the body is unaware of, like temperature, blood pressure, and the heart rate, dispensing of hormones, and the control of food, as well as the intake of water and the exposition of emotions, are additional functions of the white matter. This profound brain processing difference is probably one reason you may have noticed that girls tend to more quickly transition between tasks than boys do. The gray-white matter difference may explain why in adulthood females are great multitaskers while men excel in highly task-focused projects.
Male and female brains process the same neurochemicals, but to the different degrees and through gender-specific body-brain connections.
In processing of chemicals, males tend to be more physically impulsive and aggressive.
Females, on average, tend to be more inclined to sit still for as long as males, and tend to be less physically impulsive and aggressive.
A number of structural elements in the human brain differ between males and females. Structural refer to actual part of the brain and the way they are built, including their size and/or mass.
Females often have a larger hippocampus, our human memory center. Females also often have a higher density of neural connections into the hippocampus. As a result, girls and women tend to input or absorb more sensorial and emotive information than males do. By sensorial, we mean information to and from all five senses. If you note your observations over the next months of boys and girls and women and men, you will find that females tend to sense a lot of more what is going on around them throughout the day, and they retain that sensorial information more than men.
Additionally, before boys or girls are born, their brain developed with different hemispheric division of labor. The right and left hemispheres of the male and female brains are not set up exactly the same way.
For instance, females tend to have verbal centers on both sides of the brain, while males tend to have verbal centers on only the left hemisphere. This is a significant difference. Girls tend to use more words when discussing or describing incidents, history, person, object, feeling, or place.
Males not only have fewer verbal centers in general, but also often have less connectivity between the word centers and their memories or feelings. When it comes to discussing feelings and emotions and sense together, girls tend to have an advantage and they tend to have more interest in talking about these things.
While we are on the subject of emotional processing, another difference worth looking closely at it is the activity difference between males and female brains.
The female brain, in part, thanks to far more natural blood flow throughout the brain at any given moment, more white matter processing, and because of a higher degree of blood flow in a concentrated part of the brain called cingulate gyrus. We often ruminate on revisit emotional memories more than the male brain.
Males, in general, are designed a bit differently. Males tend, after reflecting more briefly on an emotive memory, to analyze it somewhat, then move on to the next text. During this process, they may also choose to change course and do something active and unrelated to feelings rather than analyze their feelings at all. Thus, observers may mistakenly believe that boys avoid feelings in comparison to girls or move to problem solving too quickly.
These four natural design differences lead above are just an example of how male and female think differently. Understanding gender differences from a neurological perspective not only opens the door to greater appreciation of the different genders, it also calls into question how we parent, educate, and support our children from a young age.